Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Monday, and welcome to the Circuit de Le Mans, the Circuit de la Sarthe in France for the latest race meeting in the iRacing Porsche Cup. This is the 8th week of competition in a 12-week campaign, and we've gone to the daddy of all tracks for a 6-lap race around the 13.63-kilometre course with 13 corners. In the commentary box tonight, alongside me, Adam Bath, and on the cameras, Conrad Venter, it's Andrew Woodhouse. And Andrew, it's the big one. It's Le Mans. And these Porsches, we always see them in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and we're going to be seeing them on their own here in this race today.
Yeah, hello Adam, good evening everybody. Another week here on Apex Racing TV, another race in the iRacing Porsche Cup, and well, the field just gets better and better, doesn't it, every week. We've got world-class drivers out there, some we've not seen in the series for quite some time. We've got Sebastian Duncan, we've got Rocco Barone, who's a former iRacing World Championship driver, and the likes of David Williams, who we've seen a few times, Benjamin Kral, George Caroni. We've got some very, very good drivers out there. And 6 laps around here is a little bit easier said than done, isn't it? A lot can go wrong in 6 laps of Le Mans.
Yeah, we've seen loads of series race around here in the past, but not the Porsche Cup, and it hasn't gone well at all in most of them. To be fair, most of the races we've seen around here recently on Apex Racing TV have been the Mazda MX-5. And the Porsche completely different, but we're running through the championship standings anyway going into this race meeting. Maxime Briant leads the way, but only by a few points over Sindre Sass from Scandinavia. Tommy Osgaard in 3rd with David Williams in 4th. Bruno Fontalba in 5th with Kim Eriksson 6th. Michael Parsons in 7th. 3rd division driver there actually, so that's quite a good job to be right at the top of everyone. Then 8th, Mark McDonald, and 9th, Joseph Burton Harris, who races in the Daytona Prototype class in the IMSA Sports Car Series, which had an absolute cracker at Monza yesterday. And Alexander Tiber rounding out the top 10 in the Diach car. Now, of course, this isn't the only race meeting that the drivers get to have, of course, as it is in the official series. So if you're new to iRacing, from the iRacing week is Tuesday to Tuesday. Since last Tuesday, the drivers have been racing around this track and honing their skills. So by the time we get to Monday, and the last day of the iRacing week, they should be pretty familiar with how this circuit goes now.
Yeah, definitely, and they'll have been honing the setup. They've been doing a lot of practice laps. A few of them may have had some races already. Of course, it's your best race that counts. Your best races that count, and this could be the strongest field of the week, and this is what the drivers have been building up to. So they'll all be eager for a good race, but it also means that they could be slightly over-eager in some cases, and we could have some incidents on the first lap. I hope not, because what we always want to see here at Circuit de la Sarthe is we want to see those slipstreaming battles. We want to see guys going down the Mulsanne Straight into what is the Forza chicane. We want to see a big pack of them, don't we?
Oh yeah, that's what we're hoping for. Obviously, the Porsche this season, its first season in iRacing, is widely known for being difficult to follow and being difficult to overtake. Shades of Formula 1 this season, possibly. But we've got everything we need here to rectify that. We've got superly long straights, even with the 2 chicanes involved. And we've got plenty of overtaking opportunities as well. So we should be in for the makings of a pretty good race here. It is going to be a 6-lap race, about 20 or 25 minutes worth of a competition. And it's also going to be a standing start as well. Rear-wheel drive these Porsche cars as well. So we'll see how they can get away from the line, as the qualifying session looks like it's just about to come to an end.
Yeah, there's still a couple of drivers out there on laps, so we'll see if they can improve on their times already. Always excites me when we come to the Circuit de la Sarthe, though, because anything can happen. We saw it. There's no greater illustration of that as in the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2016, of course. But it's no exception on iRacing. We saw it in the Ritmatech Sports Car Series, didn't we? In the race here, which was decided on the final lap.
Absolutely brilliant race meeting in the Ritmatech Sports Car Series. And speaking of that series, that's coming up later today, or later tonight, I should say, on Apex Racing TV, round 2 of the championship. An hour-long race there. That'll be getting underway, at a 2 a.m. British summer time as the flyover happens. And running through the grid, Kim Eriksson starts on pole. Rocco Baron starting in 2nd with Sebastian Dunkel in 3rd. 4th, Frederick Kral. Maurice Lerner in 5th with Joseph Burton Harris in 6th. Adrian Baetzer in 7th with Michel Ritchie in 8th. Dejvad Karoni in 9th and 10th for Maxime Briant. Ton Janssen in 11th with Michael Parsons 12th. Bruno Fontalba in 13th. 14th is Gairogi Zajon. And then 15th is Anthony Delahaye with Bastien Remis in 16th with Fabrizio Spinoso in 17th. Sergei Zakharov in 18th position. 19th is going to be Dickon Whitewood with Jonathan Matthew Brown in 20th. 21st is Arturo Amro. 22nd, Ihankan Guven. 23rd, David Williams, who hasn't set a time, as well as all these guys at the back. Maurizio Micconi in 24th. And Slawomir Jarowski starting at the back in 25th. Here we go then, 6 laps. Runs away, short hold here, and it's a good start by Rocco Baroni, but will he be able to take the lead? You can see the car's already starting to fan out here as we have a very quick run to the first corner through this flat out wide section, and who's that steaming around the outside? Sebastian Dunkel trying to get in the mix here as well. Who's going to have the lead into the Dunlop chicane? 3 wide contacts, and around goes Sebastian Dunkel.
Oh, yeah, and it was the number 3, it was Moritz Lerner, who came in really, really hot. To be honest, he got a bit of his just desserts because Dunkel's car came back up to the circuit and right into his car, but unfortunately I don't think he was the only one who was affected, which is such a shame. We have a bit of a silly incident at the start, but Kim Eriksson won't care about that because he's away, and let's see if he can make himself out to stick down the Mulsanne.
Yeah, just going through Tetra Rouge for the first time. Sebastian Dunkel out, Michel Ricci out, Maurizio Micconi out, and Slawomir Jarowski also out. So problems for those guys straight away as we go down the Mulsanne straight, and already a bit of slipstreaming starting to begin, but it doesn't seem again in the Porsches to have too much of an impact, even though we've got a whole load of straights here. Yeah,
I wonder if Micconi and Jaworski, I wonder if they crashed with each other, because they were right at the back, weren't they? So I wonder if they were the cause of each other's demise.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, I thought the car's going off, but they're just going through the chicane. Yeah, Maurizio Micconi and Jaworski started right in the same positions as where they are now, second last and last. So terrible start for those guys, and I wonder if we'll see them at all for the rest of the day. I can tell that Sebastian Dunkel has retired from the session, and Moritz Lerner, who's got a bit of damage on that right front, is under pressure from from Joseph Burton Harris, and there you can see the pressure getting to him. A bit of a lock-up there going into the second chicane.
Yeah, Burton Harris has got an aggressive driving style. He's got an exciting one to watch, and right behind Moritz Lerner then, who was the culprit at the very beginning. See if it comes back to haunt him. Let's see if Joseph Burton Harris can get a move done. He pulls out the slipstream. Trying to go up the inside here. The Mulsanne corner, and through goes Burton Harris, and Lerner gets a real twitch on. And that's going to profit maybe for Adrien Baeza.
See what he can do then down the second part of the straight, where Mike Rockenfeller had a huge incident in his Audi prototype a good time ago now, 5 or 6 years ago, and the battle for the lead looks like it might be heating up a little bit as well. Here comes Rocco Baroni, the pro driver, Italian as well, not too far away from Italy here, but Kim Eriksson, the Finnish driver, leading the way at the moment, going into Indianapolis, and then on our way towards the slowest part of the circuit at Arnage. A bit of gravel getting kicked up there.
Baeza is through, by the way, on Lerner.
Oh, David Williams and Zajon having a bit of a duel here going into Arnage. Oh, Williams all over the place. And who's that going up the inside? Thank you very much. That was Ihankan Guven, who started at the rear of the field. 14 positions gained already for the international driver.
Yeah, thank you very much, gentlemen. He says Guven his way up through the field. Picking up places. David Williams locked into combat with number 18. That is Georgi Zaizon. Saw David Williams in the Billy Whiz fundraiser on Friday night, which was a real success as well. Thank you to iRacing, thank you to everyone at BSR for putting that all together. We had a lot of fun, and yeah, raised money for a great cause.
Going through the Porsche curves, the aptly named Porsche curves here in the iRacing Porsche Cup, and then on our way towards the Ford chicanes to end the lap. And looks like the top back to Lerner in the top 6 have broke away really here. And despite the slipstream not being really much of an impact, was that veteran Kral you were looking at bouncing over the curbs?
No, it was Ericsson.
Oh,
Ericsson hit the curbs very, very hard, but actually got a better exit than Rocco Baroni. And Vedran Kral now right behind the Italian.
Maxime Briant is into the pits at the end of the first lap, so he must have picked up a bit of damage from the chaos at the first chicane. On to lap 2 of 6 now, so already 1/6 distance. Didn't take a mathematician to work that one out, but going through a very quick section here where Alan McNish had a huge pile up. So many memories these corners hold from the Le Mans 24 Hours.
Absolutely classic circuit. It's seen many incarnations over the years, but still retains that mystique, the aura. It's the month of auras, really, isn't it? The months May and June. You've got Monaco, you've got Le Mans, you've got Indianapolis. Some of the great circuits in world motorsport, and Vedran Kral looking to make his mark. He's in 3rd position at the moment, started in 4th, profited from the demise of Dunkel. Now he's right behind Rocco Baroni, the Orion race team driver. Looks like he's come to play tonight.
Kral up on the brakes into the Forza chicane. Ton Janssen, who started in the midfield, not too happy with the incidents that unfolded at the first corner. Between Sebastian Dunkel and everyone else, pretty much.
It was
and
Lerner,
Lerner,
wasn't it? Yeah,
Moritz Lerner, the DH driver, pro driver as well. So 2 pro drivers coming together on their run into the first chicane, and he'll be hoping for better things next time. But yeah, here comes Rocco Baroni. What speed can he get in his Porsche 911? 284 kilometers per hour in that VRS car going into the second chicane.
Just all a bit clumsy for pro drivers to be tripping over each other in turn 1, isn't it? Especially when you've got a 6 minutes, you've got 6-lap race around somewhere like Le Mans with overtaking opportunities galore. So, yeah, I think you need to have a little bit more patience at the start of the race.
See if Rocco Baroni's patience might run out sooner or later. We're on our way into the Mulsanne corner now. Tell you what, Vedran Kral having a little look at the inside there. Baroni later on the brakes. And a Hanken Guven looks like he might be moving up another position actually here. He's side by side with that is Michael Parsons. Parsons not giving up though.
What a race Guven's had so far. He started in 22nd place. It's already up to 8th. Having a go on Michael Parsons, and in fact it's now 7th for Janssen Guven.
In the background there's an absolutely titanic scrap going on between Sergei Zakharov, Bastien Remis, Bruno Fontalba, and also Arturo Amro.
He's got to slow down. That's Dickon Whitewood. He's got to slow down there.
Yeah, I thought he was defending the position at first, but yeah, it looked like he had a slowdown. And also wheel to wheel between Bastien Remis and who's out up the inside, car 10. That is Bruno Fontalba. Fontalba, Frenchman on Frenchman here going into Indianapolis.
Look at the front of Remis's car. It looks like a giant's taking a bite out of it, doesn't it? Just a whole chunk of it missing.
A big giant cane. Good quote there from Top Gear as we go through Arnage and on our way towards the Porsche curves again. Yeah, it looks like someone tried to take a bite.
And it is Top Gear for these drivers, isn't it, as they're going towards the end of the lap then. Kim Ericsson, Rocco Baroni, Vedran Kral. Joseph Burton Harris is slowly working his way towards them though, isn't he, the Australian driver?
Burton Harris doing a good job, up 2 positions since the start of the race. We'll see what the lap times are like when he gets to the line. He's definitely managed to pull away from Beaitza, and we'll see what the lap times are like when we get our first representative times as we go into the forward chicane for the second time here out of 6. Now a curve that they take on the second time, running out to the gravel. Over the line they go, and it is a 3 minute 58.2 for Kim Ericsson, 58.7 for Rocco Baroni. That is the fastest lap of the race. What did Joseph Burton Harris do? 3:59.5. Not as quick as the guys in front, but it was enough to make him pull away a little bit from Adrian Beaitza.
Guven also did a 3:59.5.
Here comes Rocco Baroni then. All of a sudden, got a good run out of the Dunlop chicane. And as he got the lead, it's going to be wheel-to-wheel stuff here as we go on our way towards Tetra Rouge. Up the inside.
Oh, he washes out a little bit, does Baroni. Look, watch out for Vedran Kral as well.
Into Tetra Rouge, round the outside goes Kim Ericsson. Somehow he holds on to the lead just about. They run out wide. That shouldn't be enough to pick up a slowdown at all, but epic sure that was.
Surely we're going to have a 3-way battle now towards the first chicane, because right in the slipstream is Baroni and Kral.
And you can
part
see
of the
straight
track
away.
Which part of the track are they going to choose, Adam? It's a tough one in this situation. Do you go outside? Do you go inside? Do you go in the middle if you're Vedran Kraut? I think he's thinking about the middle. He's
Thinks
not
about it,
able
doesn't
to
he?
do it. Yes.
Just about Kim Eriksson gets back onto the racing line by the time we get to the first chicane and sliding his way. Kudos points if we were on PGR4, but that was the Forza chicane. And this is iRacing as
Very
we go
good.
down the straight.
Original Xbox reference, excellent. As that was a Scandinavian flick almost coming out of the corner by Kim Eriksson. Didn't seem to do too much harm, but here comes Rocco Baroni.
And the outside he goes. He's going to be latest on the brakes. That's what's going to happen here. And I tell you what, Baroni's going to lose second at this rate. Where's he going, Vedran Kraut?
Kraut misses the corner. Going to do the old slalom. That's going to be a slowdown as well.
Here comes Joseph Burton Harris. You said.
Burton Harris has tagged along to the back of this group. Kraut still trying to serve his slowdown. I think that might be done and dusted for him in terms of the win.
Well, lucky for him, he's set a representative time, so it might not be too much of an issue. Like, he might have been able to serve it, but yeah, it's all kicking off here in the battle for the lead. But Rocco Baroni now leads going into Mulsanne corner. What can he do to make sure that Kim Eriksson doesn't get back by? This race is by no means done. On that 3 of 6, Joseph Burton Harris is now the man responsible of making sure that these two in front don't take the win. We've got Italy, Finland and Australia, New Zealand represented inside this top 3.
Go on board with Kim Eriksson. Be able to see how much is closing down the back of the circuit on Rocco Baroni. And into Indianapolis. You can see the cars moving around. It's a bit of a banked corner this. I think a bit wide, stones flying up onto the windscreen of the number 4 car. Oh, almost into the wall, Adam, that was close.
Not much run hurry at all there, and you have seen cars hit that tyre barrier in the times in the 124 hours. But yeah, Kim Eriksson very close down the exit, only 0.3 of a second between the leader and second place in real time. And Joseph Burton Harris still in 3rd with Vedran Kraut now in 4th. Guven in 7th, David Williams in 8th, both of them gaining 15 positions since the race. And now we go into the Porsche curves. You can see if Kim Eriksson can try and reduce this deficit even more. He's got the gap down to 2 tenths, running wide.
Oh, yeah.
So that's that safe barrier on the exit.
Yeah, that's a new wall there, isn't it? It's introduced in the last couple of years. I think that used to be quite a large runoff area, but there did used to be a concrete wall there. I remember Jan Magnussen had a big smash there a couple of years ago, and I believe that's why. That could be why that's there.
They've widened the runoff area on the exit of the Porsche curves as Kim Eriksson
sideways
slides.
Eriksson. And I thought he was going to have to turn it into an overtaking attempt, but in the end, did pretty well to stay ahead of Burton Harris. But this is the breathing room that Rocco Baroni needs.
Tell you what, Kim Eriksson might have the map set up on his car here. He's all sorts of all over the place here in this race. Black Star Racing liveried car as we go into the Dunlop chicane on lap 4 of 6, 3 to go.
With half of the race gone, there is still half the race still to go, Adam.
Yeah, yes indeed, we are 60% of the way through here today. Well, on lap 4 of 6 anyway, I think that's what my maths can work that out. But yeah, we're on the way to Tetra Rouge. And a 0.7 of a second lead now for Rocco Baroni. If we can get that just a little bit high up to a second, we might not have to worry about Kim Eriksson for the rest of the race.
It's going to be tough though, isn't it? Eriksson's still going to have the slipstream. Let's have a look at the wind. Let's see where that's blowing from. That's blowing from the east. I believe that could well be a headwind for these drivers.
Looks like it's dynamic weather as well. It's just changed to northeast. My timing and blowing at 40 degrees at 11 kilometers.
So fairly strong gusts out there. You could see that there was quite a Burton Harris very wide. Hasn't hurt him this time, but drivers just starting to make a couple of little mistakes, and that's allowing Vedran Kraut back into the picture, at least for the podium positions. Kraut right in the slipstream. See if he pulls out and get through into the next of these corners on this Mulsanne straight.
See what we can do. Once again, it's going to be all about last of the late breakers. And Vedran Kraut's definitely got the cleaner of the 2 cars. Bit of rear wing damage to Joseph Burton Harris. Vedran Kraut through into 3rd position, sliding his way again on the exit, desperate to get the power down as quickly as they can. and on their way through the third and final part of the Mulsanne straight into Mulsanne corner. Credit to Kim Eriksson. The gap was 7/10 of a second when they got onto the Mulsanne straight. It's now down to 3/10 as we go into Mulsanne.
Very nice work there by Vedran Kral to get back into third place. But this is where the difficult work begins for him. 2.5 laps to go. About a second behind. He needs to hope that slipstream effect is enough for him to get back into this lead battle. So many times you miss a chicane here at Le Mans, it hurts you badly, especially in such a short race. But Kral proving that you can overcome these obstacles.
Through the top 10 then, as we've got 2.5 laps to go, as Kim Eriksson starts to get ever closer to Rocco Baroni. He's in second, Vedran Kral third, Burton Harris fourth, Adrian Baeza in fifth, Moritz Lerner in sixth, with a Hanken Guven in seventh, with David Williams in eighth, both of those starting at the back of the grid. Anthony Della Hayes in ninth, and 10th is Georgi Zajon.
Excellent work by Guven and Williams, really, isn't it? It's 22nd to 7th and 23rd to 8th, respectively. And after only half of the race, that is really spectacular progress.
Yeah, anyone would be happy with that, especially anyone in an endurance race. If they were starting at the back there, 15 positions gained inside the opening 4 laps would do the world of good for them. If they can get any higher, maybe even crack the top 5, but they are a bit of a way away from Moritz Lerner, but they still have 2 laps to go after this one, and quite a lot of time as well. These are very long laps at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Now the leaders go into the Porsche curves again. 2/10 still between Baroni and Eriksson.
Getting a lot of those positions gained in the first few laps really does mean that you can just kind of get on with your race. You don't necessarily have to worry about going through slower cars. You just get on, you know, put those laps in at your pace and see where it gets you. And that's what Guven and Williams have managed to do. 6 seconds clear of the drivers behind. Only 4 seconds behind the very tail end of this battle, which is Adrian Baeza and Moritz Lerner.
Tell you what, Joseph Burton Harris might be the more threatening of the two now, if you in the battle between Eriksson and between Vedran Kral. In fact, I'm looking at Vedran Kral, sorry. Ignore that, I thought that was Joseph Burton Harris. Burton Harris in fourth. He's Vedran Kral starting to look the more threatening of the two between him and Kim Eriksson. Eriksson sliding the car about, and Vedran Kral, he looks set on trying to take the second place away on this lap. The top 3 right back together again. Shades of what we saw at the start of lap 3. And as we're on the penultimate lap of the race now, drivers will be starting to get a bit more eager to get the positions here.
Yeah, and Eriksson already looks a bit closer than he did on the previous lap, but it's been a good couple of chicanes for Rocco Baroni. Maybe extending the advantage just a little bit. Italy versus Finland at the front.
Well, we saw
what
happened when an Italian car hit a Finnish driver hit an Italian car on Sunday.
With a fin in it.
With a fin in it, yeah.
Didn't end well that time, but we'll see.
Well, one little kid wasn't very happy, was he? What happened there?
No, he was not. Tears were shed, and let's hope there's no tears in this one, because we've got a really good battle for the lead. 4-car scrap, and the 2 drivers behind, just tantalisingly out of reach, isn't it, for Baeza and for Lerner? They can see the leaders, they're right there, but just aren't getting in quite enough slipstream to close in. They're just sort of maintaining the gap.
Yeah, they're 3 seconds behind. Unfortunately, even though they're working together, they can't get much done. Again, Eriksson using all the curves on the inside and on the outside of the second chicane.
Got a nice run out of the second chicane, though. This could be a good chance into Mulsanne corner.
Here he comes, gap down to 1/10 of a second, less than a 10th of a second almost now. He's looking to the inside into Mulsanne, thinks better of it, then he commits. Just not late enough on the brakes, and now it's up to, Vedran Kral nearly slides into him as they go through Mulsanne corner, but Kim Eriksson does get a good run on the exit, and Rocco Baroni moving across to try and get as much speed as he can.
Difficult corner to get slowed down for, and I think that was possibly what was in the mind of Eriksson there, because he didn't want to just overshoot the corner and leave himself really vulnerable down this very flat out section here towards Indianapolis.
Now a southeastern wind in this race now. Wind changing all the time.
Constant changes, aye. And mentioned quickly the track conditions. It's 23 degrees air temperature, 27 degrees track temperature. That has risen 5 degrees from the qualifying session, Adam, so it's a bit hotter out there than what they were used to.
Dynamic weather here on iRacing. Dynamic track as well. You may see that if the drivers run offline, you will see the marbles and the dust getting kicked up around this Le Mans circuit. Of course, public roads during when the race isn't on.
Exactly. There is a little bit of permanent circuit here, isn't there? But it's not not a massive amount. Marbles getting thrown up at the rear wing of the number 2 BRS Commander Sim Sport car.
Through the Porsche curves then for the penultimate time. When we get round to the line, we'll have 1 lap to go. 13.63 kilometres left for the drivers to get something done here around this Circuit de la Sarthe circuit in week 8 of the iRacing Porsche Cup. Left, right, and then left, right again. See Kim Eriksson really closing up, takes a lot of that inside curb and doesn't run as wide as Rocco Baroni does. That will knock off a few kilometres per hour for the Commander Sim Sport driver. What were the lap times like? 3:59.3, 3:59.1 for Kim Eriksson. That's another 2 attempts taken out. We can stay within a third of a second, Andrew, by the time we get onto the Mulsanne. We'll stand a good chance here.
Yeah, keeping close to these downhill section and the Dunlop curves. Then past chicane. Really the key.
Smoothness is key through this section, I think.
Yeah, it is, and it's quite bumpy in places as well. It can unsettle the car. You don't want the back end to break away into Turk Rouge now. And both drivers, really, the front 2 going through there extremely well.
As close as he's ever been, Kim Eriksson.
From Baroni as well. He doesn't want connection issues to rear their ugly head.
I can't remember what race that was in.
Look at this overspeed.
Here he comes, 280 kilometres per hour for Kim Eriksson. Now he ducks to the outside. It's going to be about who's latest on the brakes. Kim Eriksson has the racing line, but Rocco Baroni, if he just keeps it ahead, could have a chance of keeping it, and he gradually moves across, and when we get into the braking zone, it's still Rocco Baroni that leads.
Eriksson, Eriksson eased off a tiny bit, just almost decided, I think, to fall back in line. Knew he couldn't get in the outside, moved on, there's a spin, and it's Baeza.
That's him down to 8th position now. That's Guven and Williams both getting another spot, and all of a sudden now it's Vedran Kral that looks like he wants to take second place away from Kim Eriksson.
He's kind of in the slipstream, but he's not close enough, I don't think, to have a go. Doesn't indeed into second chicane.
Oh, good run here from Eriksson, I think. This might be his best opportunity. 3 attempts, 2 attempts on the exit. He's trying to make the circuit as short as it can be through the final part of the final chicane here.
Wasn't the best run by Rocco Baroni.
Now, as it's the final lap, he surely must go for it.
I think he has to into Indianapolis. Got to try it now. The inside, got the high ground. Baroni tries the outside line. Eriksson using the space. Maybe a little bit too much space, because here comes Kral.
Well, this could be the opening of the floodgates here for Rocco Baroni. He could find himself as low as third as we go 3 wide. We are going 3 wide.
This is a narrow part of the course, ladies and gentlemen. It's not...
From the hard shoulder, Rocco Baroni here.
Indeed.
Well, who'll be calling for the tow vehicle?
Oh, Baroni's on the grass.
And now we get squeezed out as we have to filter our way into Arnage. Who's going to lead? Is it going to be Kral? No, he slots into second.
Yeah, I think Kral had the opportunity to maybe get 2 places there, but he decided against it. Thought, well, I'm not going to really get involved at this point. But where are the other chances going to come from?
That's Burton Harris going very wide at Arnage. He somehow escapes the wall, but it's not over here. We're on our way to the Porsche curves for the final time.
It's also not over between Guven and Williams, but we're eyes all on the front now. Kim Eriksson, well, he led at the start of the race. And received a huge challenge from Rocco Baroni. Had to settle for second for a while. Made his move on the final lap, and he's taken Vedran Kral with him. And we're into the final sector now.
They always run so close to that wall there. The drivers trying different lines to try and get the advantage through the final part of the lap. Vedran Kral driving for the Orion Racing team. And Kim Eriksson driving for the Blackadder Group, and VRS Commander Simsport veteran for Rocco Baroni. And he hasn't given up on taking second place here. That looks like to be the main battle as we go into the forward chicane.
This is going to help Eriksson massively. Oh, they make contact!
And that's
Baroni's
the end for Baroni.
wide.
He's going to have to. He's probably going to drop down to fourth. That's probably where we'll finish. But around the final corner they go. And Kim Eriksson takes a dramatic win here in the iRacing Porsche Cup at Le Mans. Second for veteran Kral. Third will be Joseph Berzin Harris. He does benefit from some shenanigans in front on the final lap.
And look at that behind. Lerner was fifth, and Guven just holds off Williams, who was on the grass over the line.
Problem for Fabrizio Spinoso. He's dropping down the order late on. The Marlboro car has spun before the final chicane.
And he's going to lose a place to Sławomir Jaworski.
Well, nothing of his own doing either.
Because Jaworski's 4 laps down, actually.
He gets run into by Michael Parsons. Feel a little bit aggrieved there.
A look. Oh, yeah. Parsons it was one of those situations where you get a run on the car in front and don't want to slow down, and I think it was just, yeah, pretty badly judged in the end. But round went Spinoso. He went for a spin, Oso, didn't he? But you know, that was the end of him, and he ends up finishing in 17th place. Well, I'll take you to the finishing order then, and Kim Eriksson with the win. 24 minutes and 3 seconds, and then Vedran Kral just 7/10 behind. Really good performance from him, starting 4th. Joseph Burton Harris likewise at P3. Rocco Baroni in 4th in the end. He'll be disappointed to have not taken the win. He probably left the door open at Indianapolis. Maybe he shouldn't have done. Moritz Lerner, he caused a crash at turn 2 with Sebastian Dunkel, but he hangs on to finish 5th. Janssen Guven in 6th, fighting through from the penultimate row of the grid. David Williams on the oh no, they were both on the penultimate row of the grid, weren't they? 6th and 7th. Adrian Baeza was running strongly until he had a spin on the final lap. Bruno Fontalba was 9th. Georgi Daizon in 10th. Bastien Remis in 11th. Anthony Delahaye 12th. 13th Dickon Whitewood. 14th Sergei Zakharov. Michael Parsons in 15th after making contact with Spinoso. Arturo Amro in 16th ahead of Spinoso. Jonathan Matthew Brown in 18th, and then 1 lap down Ton Janssen. And then the cars over a lap down. Sławomir Jaworski did finish the race, but he was 4 laps down. Maxime Briant likewise, Maurizio Micconi as well. And then Sebastian Dunkel only lasted 1 lap, as did Michele Ricci and Joad Caroni.
Tom Janssen going to have the final say here as he comes through the final few corners. He is the last one on track, and yeah, nice to have a bit of breath saved there for a change. The Red Bull car coming through the final corner, and he's got a lot of damage, but he will still finish the race. We'll lose a bit of safety rating though for that one, of course, because it is the official series. Through he comes now and comes across the line and takes the 19th place. Right then, that is the end of proceedings.
Wait, there was a slight change there.
Zakharov
has been penalised, it looks like. So
a late race slowdown, yeah.
Down to 18th, Zakharov. So it's the final few positions: Parsons 14th, Amro 15th, Spinoso 16th, Brown 17th, Zakharov now 18th, and Janssen 19th. Janssen says he got hit 5 times during that race.
Not what he will have wanted at all, Ton Janssen. Tell you what, these Leeds names, Andrew, they keep cropping up on iRacing, but yeah.
Janssen, is it? Yes.
Yeah, that's about it from all of us here at Apex Racing TV, but don't forget we've got the Ritmatech Sports Car Series coming up later tonight. I'll quickly do a quick search to see where we're racing tonight so we can book the flights out there. The Ritmatech Sports Car Series, the Mustangs and the Mazda MX-5s, of course. They are heading to Sebring in Florida for a 60-minute race tonight. And yeah, you can join us at 6 PM Eastern Time. That'll be 2 AM British Summer Time. So from all of us here, my thanks to Andrew for joining me in the commentary box for this one. And thanks to Conrad Venter as well for being on the cameras. It's a lights to flag victory just about. For Kim Eriksson, it's a merci and a bonsoir from the Circuit de la Sarves.